Hey, beautiful people, welcome back to MCJ's Art Studio. Happy that you're here. Happy that you're taking the time to sit back and enjoy another episode of this channel. So, welcome to new subscribers, an extra welcome to all the people that already are joining this platform. Happy that you're here and taking the time to see what it is that I'm doing right now. If you're new to the channel and you already have been watching a couple of videos here and there, listen, that means that you already like what it is that I'm producing. So hit that like button, hit that subscription button, and definitely hit the notification bell so that you will never miss out on a new video that I have here for you. Now back to business. Now I'm sitting here checking all the materials that we'll be using for the coming art project that I'm participating in as quote unquote an art teacher. I never saw myself as an art teacher, I have to say, but for this day, I'm willing to do that. If you want to know more about this particular art project in detail, I suggest that you go to the link in the right upper corner. There you will find some background information where I'm speaking more into detail about this particular art project. So what I'm doing right now is that I'm checking out the easels. These are work easels, like table easels, really small, very practical, and easy to use. And these will be used for the participants to put their canvas on and create whatever it is that they want to create for that day. Oh, well, what do we have here? Wait, some old paint. Well, look at here. So that inspired me to go into my art studio and check for more acrylic paint. And even though me and our the project manager, have been discussing what we need for this particular day, or actually me advising them what they should be acquiring for the day, I do think it is a really fun, maybe a fun idea to show the youth that is participating into the art class, to let them see what it is that I use when it comes to creating paintings. Now, I have to be honest, I'm not using acrylics that much anymore as I used to do in the beginning. I'm an oil girl now. I use oil paint. But it is fun to see how much money, how much coins are spent on all of these materials. Yeah, good thing to see. Yeah. So this is a canvas that I'm going to take along with me. Now, this is a really old canvas, but I used to, take this as an example when I would give my sip and paint workshops. I think I did that like 3 years ago, 4 years ago now. But it's fun to show the youth what it is that they can create and how this actually fits within the concept that I have for them for that particular day. Now, this canvas I created completely with acrylics. So there's no oil here. Like I already said, in the beginning, I was more into acrylics, and that was because it was cheaper, it was quicker in drying time, and I was kind of scared to use oil paint because I did not know how to use it. I didn't have the expertise. I didn't have the knowledge that I have now back then. So acrylics it was. And it was a fun time. I'm not saying that I won't be using acrylics anymore. I still use acrylics from time to time. One of my paintings that I created has an acrylic background. Well, I put the link here in the upper corner, the upper right corner, for you to see which painting that is. So you can have a look at it as well, and how I use a combination of oil and acrylic. But for this particular project, we are going to use acrylics. And another reason why I want to show them how important it is for for artists to have good equipment is that it helps us to create great work. Now, of course, you need your skills, right? You need your skills. You got to have, some skills. And I definitely feel that my skills have improved a lot during the years. But I still think that it's a very fun example for youth who rarely or maybe not at all in their lives have come into contact with art to see something that is just fun and easy to do. So I'm going to be taking this little baby with me for that day, and we are going to continue with the rest of the video. Stay tuned. Now, before we continue with the video, I need to interject myself in this particular part. This section of the video is actually recorded before I did inventory. Yeah, I know, it's kind of backwards, but for the video, it's not going to be that much of an impact. So anything that I'm discussing right now in this particular coming section was actually before I started with the inventory. Yeah. Well, listen, sometimes these things happen, but for the video, it won't really, cause too much of a confusion. But if it did, I definitely apologize for that. Now, back to the video. Can y'all see me? Wait a minute. Let me put some light on myself. So, what's up, people? What is up? It's another day. And we're back with another video. So, I'm sitting here at the desk, and I am creating the program for the coming workshop that will be happening 2 weeks from now, I think. Let me see. Let me check my laptop. My workshop is going to be almost 3 weeks from now. I'm not nervous for the workshop, not at all. In the past, I have given art workshops when I was starting with my first and second solo exposition. So I'm not unfamiliar with what I want to do, and that is actually the thing that they are asking of me, to create a art class. Man, I had to think for a while. Yeah, to create an art class for some young people, and I have a concept that I want to give, but I'm not going to tell it here. I'm going to tell it here, or else you're not going to look. No, but I have something in my head that I want to do. I still have to talk with the project manager of what needs to be bought for the art class. Now, listen, this is the art class for young people. That's the first time that they are coming into contact with, someone who does art. So for that day, I'm going to be an art teacher. It's not going to be this, big happening. I do have to work with a budget that they have available for me. So when it comes to the art supplies, I have worked with cheaper brands before, so I definitely can help the project manager get some products that can be cheap and have, a great effect as well. So this is not the point where we are going to be investing into high top quality art supplies and materials. However, it is, the point of the art project is to let them get into contact with art and how they can express themselves, and also how they can express their ideas when it comes to differences between different cultural groups within the African Caribbean diaspora. That is what this whole project is about. And within that project, there are several headings. So one is about cooking, one is about entrepreneurship, one is about literature, another is about history, and I will be talking about art and how you can use art to actually show how important it is not to be afraid of the differences that you have for each other, or judge each other for the difference that you have, but include each other because
of the differences that you have. I think in a lot of cases, people think about differences or diversity as something that you exclude from a group. While I believe and I know that when you acknowledge differences, when you see diversity, you include it to your overall vision. And that is also one of the pet peeves that I have when it comes to the art world. And not the art world, not just the art world, right, where people are painting and showing their painting, sculptures, or whatever it is that they're showing. The pet peeve that I have with the art world just in general, so it can be expressive art, performance art, creative art, visual art, videography, photography, whatever. You fill in the blank. Fill it in. Whatever it is that a lot of marketing and a lot of advertising is done based upon diversities. And I think for myself that is one of the mistakes that I've made for myself, to say, well, I'm diversing myself or excluding myself as being a black artist or creating black art, quote unquote black art. Well, actually, my whole perception now is no, there is inclusivity when you are capable of diversing what you are seeing. When you are capable of expressing different colors in a palette, when you're capable of expressing and tasting different flavors, so to speak, let's use that as a metaphor, it's all one big recipe. And when you start to get to know all of those flavors, and you can name them, and you know where they're coming from, and you know how to use it, and you know how it tastes, you know which one not to use with whatever other flavor there is, you now, my friend, have broadened your palette, and you are capable of including a whole range of diverse subjects and objects. Let's translate that to the art world, shall we? So you're also capable of diversing and understanding and including a huge range of different types of artists and art forms, right? Black art is a general concept, but within black art, there is really no monolith. Black art in itself is not a monolith, but it is being very much, sold and marketed as such, as just one particular heading, and everything falls within that. That can be good because it's a pretty, it's marketing savvy, right? It's a great way to sell on diversity. However, you are also just putting everything into one pot, and you're not really acknowledging the different types of artists that are in that pot. And that is the bad thing about it. So even though I myself, and I'm digressing a little bit, but even though I myself don't see myself just as a black artist, I don't mind people calling me a black artist, because I am a black artist. I mean, I'm a black woman. I'm a woman of color. When people look at my art, yes, I create paintings about people from the African Caribbean diaspora that are living in the Western world in today's time. But it's not just that, if that makes sense. So for this art class, that is one of the focal points that we are creating, that I want to introduce them to that particular vision. That's one of the perspectives that I'm taking in that. And of course, we're going to create, some crazy things. We're going to create some good things. We're going to create some beautiful things. I'm excited to let them see what they are capable of course, and that I am there to guide them so that they can do whatever it is that they can do, and also understand that there are so many ways that we as the peoples have grown and always been capable of creating communities and sustaining communities and expressing ourselves in many ways, whether it's on an entrepreneurial way, or through literature, or through our culinary talents, or art, our artistic and creative talents. We always have had that. And by acknowledging that differences are okay, it's okay to be who you are. You don't have to judge somebody else because they are not specifically from, the African continent, or they talk a different way, or the languages have changed, or now someone has a different position, a different societal position, a status, because they have not transitioned to the Western world, but have chosen to stay wherever they are. And so there are many different types of differences. So I want to incorporate that all. I'm not creating, I'm sitting now behind my laptop, creating a program for that. So I'm starting with, first of all, a baseline. A baseline, I'm saying a baseline. What I mean is a guideline. It's late, it's Sunday, people, it's Sunday. I'm creating a guideline where I first of all tell them what the rules are when it comes to painting, right? Because, listen, during my expo, when I was offering those courses, people were not always aware of the fact that paint does not easily come out of your clothes. And there are some tips that can really help you create something that you can be really proud of and something that you enjoy doing. You don't have to be a high level expert or something. You don't have to be a professional for that. So I'm creating some guidelines, just, some simple rules, like, how you use paint. It's acrylic paint, so it dries really fast. How to not to use too many colors, because then it can be very hard to focus on a certain subject, but to also not to make it too plain, because then you're not attracting the interest of the audience. Another great thing is, of course, to work from dark to light and not the other way around, because there are professionals, of course. I can do it. I can work from light to dark, but that's because I take my time working that way, so I know not to mess things up, because then it can be really muddy. But for somebody who's working and is thinking, well, I just paint something, your work is going to get muddy if you do that. So just basic rules, guidelines, that can help people just to get ahead. And then I'm gonna create the program for myself, so I know what it is that I'm talking about. I am guessing that I'm gonna work with a projector, a PowerPoint. So don't want to make it too long, of course, because it's about art and I want just the kids to do art. I actually do not want to I'm thinking if I really want to use the PowerPoint or not, but I think I'm going to do it anyway. Just to give a really quick introduction to some modern age painters and artists that are living right now and are creating art, and also have them then from that moment on just work further. Something I'm also going to create for them is a color scheme. Yeah, a color scheme is going to help them understand primary colors. We all know that people from the African continent, people from the African Caribbean diaspora are fond of color. Color is our thing. Color is the way that we express. So one of the things that is also really going to be a part of the program, of that project, is that they understand how to use color and what color actually says, and how color has been used through centuries and thousands and thousands of centuries and thousands and thousands, in the thousands, for so many years has been used, and how we also expressed ourselves with it when it comes to the clothes that we will wear, when it comes to, for instance, funerals, cultural, spiritual ceremonies, traditions, great happenings, events, birth, death, marriage, things like that. So color has always been a part of that. And also just quickly show how it developed itself through the centuries. So it's going to be a really small part of art history, but a large part of them using the knowledge that they are getting um, to to get started, just to get started. Okay, so I'm going to create a program. So definitely I'm going to keep you posted on how it looks, and of course also the footage. Like I already said, I can, film here and there, so I'll definitely be sharing that also with you as well. I think it is also a good outlook for people that are just starting up with their art practice, to think about that as well. It's not something that is weird. It's not something that is too far from what you are doing. It's a great way to profile yourself as a contemporary artist in whatever it is that you're doing, and marketing yourself out there, putting yourself out there with what you're doing. Is a great way of just giving your business card, not a physical business card, but you become the business card. Your service becomes a business card. Your product becomes a business card. So think about that for yourself, right? Think about that.
Hey, beautiful people. So we are coming to the end of this video. I'm going to continue the work that I need to do. And in the meantime, in between time that you are watching this video, you can open another tab on your laptop or serve on your phone to my Patreon platform. I will put the link here in the description box. Click on it and start following me over there. There you will find exclusive content of what is happening behind the scene. No, it will not be shared on YouTube or any other social media platform that I'm on. And it is especially for you. There are different tiers that you can subscribe to, and each tier will give you more exclusive material and also great perks. So, what is it that you're going to do? Next to, of course, subscribing and liking this channel, head over to the Patreon. There you'll find exclusive material just for you. Well, this is it. This is all. I'm going to continue, and I will see you next time. Again, good people, like the video. Liking the videos will help push all of the content that I'm creating here for you all further into this YouTube world, and more people will gather and come to this platform and form this great fam that we already have. It will really help me, and it will also benefit you because you will get to see more of what I'm creating. There's a lot of hard work that I'm putting into this, and I want to get 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. So help me get to those 1,000 subscribers. I know it's a big goal, but I dream and act big. So help me get 1,000 subscribers. Share this with family, friends, peers, people that are already into art and want to, start professionalizing themselves. I know that this can really benefit them. And last but not least, hit that notification bell. When you hit that notification bell, you will be updated on new videos. You'll never have to question yourself, when will I be posting another video? You will be updated. See you soon, people. Bye-bye.